Today, I would like to explore the origin and evolution of the term Zhongguo, or what we now call China, in its modern political sense. Many people assume that China has always referred to a unified nation-state. However, this idea is relatively recent. A key turning point came around 1895, when Sun Yat-sen founded the Zhongguo, also known as the Revived China Society. At that time, the goal was clear: to end the rule of the Manchu Qing Empire and to restore governance to what was understood as the Chinese people. Yet history did not unfold straightforwardly. Instead, a complex political transformation took place. Yuan Shikai, who had served the Qing Empire, rose to power during this transitional period. Rather than fully dismantling the imperial system, he repurposed it. Using the framework of the newly declared Republic of China, he established the Beiyang government. In this sense, one could describe the situation as using force to exert force, adopting the language of republicanism while maintaining older power structures. International recognition further complicated matters. Western powers such as the United States, Britain, and Japan recognized different regimes at different times. The Beiyang government was acknowledged internationally, and later, even the Wang Jingwei regime, the reorganized national government, received recognition under specific geopolitical conditions. At the same time, there was a competing political force indirectly supported by the Soviet Union, often described as a dual government. In addition, Manchukuo, established in the northeast, was recognized by Japan and received varying degrees of acknowledgement from other countries. Meanwhile, Chiang Kai-shek's nationalist government only gained strong and consistent international recognition, particularly from the United States, around 1943. At that time, the US president's decision to send a special envoy to Tibet may reflect limitations in how Tibetan political leaders envisioned their future. What this reveals is that in the first half of the 20th century, there was no single unified government that could fully represent China. Instead, there were multiple competing regimes, each claiming legitimacy, each backed by different international actors. In contrast, one could argue that the Tibetan government maintained a more continuous political structure during this same period. Despite regional pressures and incursions into areas such as Amdo and Kham, full-scale incorporation only occurred later, following the intervention of the People's Republic of China. Returning to the fall of the Manchu Empire, it is also important to note that this overthrow was not a complete rupture. It involved compromise. Yuan Shikai accepted conditions set by Manchu elites, including the principle of 5 races under one union and guarantees for the royal family. As a result, what began as a movement for national independence evolved into a republic that retained elements of the previous imperial order. In conclusion, the emergence of Zhongguo as a modern political concept was neither simple nor unified. It was shaped by compromise, fragmentation, and competing claims to legitimacy. Understanding this complexity allows us to rethink what China meant during this crucial historical period, and challenges the assumption that it has always been a single, unified entity. See you next Friday.